Call the March 3rd meeting of the Bryant Water and Wastewater Committee will be called to order. I'd like to start off with the invocation. If you would mind leading us in invocation, please.
Okay. Lord, we thank you this day for letting us come here today to conduct the city's business. We ask that you give us clear minds and good judgment. We just thank you for blessing us and giving us a great place to live. I pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. So call to order the meeting. First thing is leak adjustment reviews. Any issues with leak adjustments?
No, we don't have any issues. We do have a customer that asked if I would just bring forward, it should be in your back of your packet. It's a Sarah Manus. Her son had left the water hose on for days, and I told her the policies, but she still asked if I would bring it and let y'all read her letter and give her some kind of adjustment if you guys could.
This is one where the water hose left on, it wasn't going into the sewer.
Yes, because she is not on our water. She's on the wastewater only. And she's just saying the hose was left on, it didn't go in the ground. So she's asking if...
Repeat that again. She's on water but not wastewater?
She's on wastewater only. She's on Salem water.
Okay.
Sewer only with Bryant. So she's saying the hose was left on, it went to the ground, it didn't go in our system. So she's asking that we get give her some kind of adjustment.
Normally, as a procedure, we have to have a repair order, right? A completed repair order?
Yes, and I think the exemption on the ordinances was...
It was, yeah, there's certain extenuating cases, obviously, but usually those are big, like a fire or, tornado or something like that.
We have an opportunity for her to sign an affidavit or something to that
I
effect?
think we'd have to. I mean, we know
Like a
how many
repair,
hurt otherwise, we know, so, yeah.
Just left the hose.
Her son left the water.
Well, she's gonna have to
She's gonna still have to pay for the water from Salem.
Salem.
Yeah, but if it didn't go down the sewer, we didn't incur any cost to treat it, so, I mean, that's the.
But we can eliminate the sewer, can't we?
But, yeah, but like Karen Tinkler said, is how do we know? Because,
We don't know how much to eliminate.
yeah, I mean, it's all her meter, yeah, because she continued to use sewer during that process. Now, our leak adjustment forgives them 50% on sewer. So there's one option there, and then there's an option that you can forgive like $100, correct?
Yes.
Mhm. So, I mean,
We're,
to follow the policy, it would be 50% on sewer.
okay. But
Because
she's
still-
not in this list, right?
Yes, she's on the back of the very back page there. She's attached her bill and
See the letter.
a letter.
I read the letter, but where's she at on this list? Which number?
She's not on the list itself.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, it was separate because that's not our standard policy.
So you could write off 50% of her sewer bill and $100.
Not and,
No.
50% or just write off $100.
How much was her, I haven't
It
found
was
it yet.
$609. Her standard bill runs anywhere between $40 and $45 a month from us.
So if we took off half, and that would take her down to about her usual bill.
Well, not her usual, but
Her
still,
bill, about $50 would be $300.
But she said.
But we can only do half.
yes,
That's the policy, what the policy says.
yes.
Well, whatever we decide to do, make a motion, et cetera, that's our limits. We cannot exceed 50%. So,
50% would be
She
the
did
low.
incur some sewage cost because she ran her household.
Right.
You have no idea
Right.
what she ran her household. Now, granted, if you had a history of $50, $45, fine, but there's still no proof that that's what
Yeah.
she used during that time period.
It said it's ran for several weeks, but this is the first time she noticed it.
when she got her water bill.
There wasn't another month before this, it was this high.
I'm not.
No, this is the only month. We just pulled in the reads from them. So I haven't got those updated yet, but, so I'm not sure what her next month's bill is gonna be as well. It could have been all on this one bill, because Salem bills 2 weeks different than we do. So,
Well, everybody makes mistakes, and I personally think we should grant that to her. I mean, I think we should do that. I have more of a problem with the reoccurring apartment complexes. Because that
Yes.
seems, I mean, there's one thing to make a mistake, but then there's one thing to neglect. And
Right.
So,
But 50% is the most that we can do.
yes,
Yeah.
50% is all we can do.
I'd say we do that then.
Okay.
yeah,
I would entertain a motion for that.
I'll make a motion that we do.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
The only thing I would ask is that she fill out an affidavit of some sort saying that she,
Yeah, we could.
I think we need something.
Some email or anything, something on that?
I'd say with this letter suffice.
I just have an email here.
Okay.
She
Maybe
just
a-
typed up what happened.
Maybe have it notarized.
It's not the
Yeah,
formal.
I mean, just to make it a little bit more legal,
Sure.
protect us on the backside.
Brandon, I think that's safe.
Picture
Okay.
of the kid with the water hose.
Right. So motion carries 6-0 with an addendum to, Get clarification?
Affidavit.
any other questions or issues with this list?
Everything has their copies of the receipts, so.
Okay.
And I verified the leaks are fixed, so.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve or deny these adjustments.
I'll make a motion to accept the leaks.
I'll second it.
Second, okay. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Aye. Got an apartment complex on there. So,
At least we don't have Bryant School.
Yeah, that come to a halt.
So,
You may have Bryant Park next month.
bust a water line, did you?
They did something in Mills Park, I don't know.
Okay. All right, approval of minutes. Did anybody get a chance to look at the minutes?
I make a motion that we approve them as submitted.
Before we move on from that, I just want to bring it up that it says the meeting was brought together, started by David Hanna, and that is not correct for February.
So we need to amend that, same meeting,
Yeah.
we can amend that.
I mean, if this is a legal document, that's the only thing I
okay.
worry.
Yeah, we'll amend it.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to accept it as amended, we can.
Okay.
Yeah,
I make a motion for the amended approval.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Carries 6-0.
I'll second.
All right, financial report. Anybody want to talk about money?
Yeah,
Do we have any left?
yes. There's not much to report, nothing really stands out. You guys can see the revenues and expenditures, that's pretty typical for January as we kick off the budget and things like that, so it'll even out as it goes, but we're on track with everything else.
Okay. Nothing else to add?
No, you'll see the infrastructure fees fund has quite a bit in it, but again, I think one of my notes on there is that, Joy usually pays out right out of that in quarter one. So you'll see it go down as it gets closer.
Entertain motion to accept the January financial report.
I make a motion to accept the January financial report.
Second?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, presentations, announcements. Mr. Frankie Glover is the, correct me if I'm wrong, wastewater superintendent. There we go.
That is correct. This
Yeah,
is-
wastewater superintendent.
What our plan is I think I warned y'all about 2 or 3 meetings ago that we're no longer going to have 15-minute meetings, that we're going to get y'all immersed in the world of water and wastewater. And definitely, this is an outstanding presentation. I look forward to hearing from it. But also, I want y'all to be thinking, like, as the days start getting nicer, is that we may re-adjourn and have another wastewater sewer advisory meeting down at the plant and go through the plant at some point.
Yep.
Because I'd like for you guys to be very familiar with the plant, because we're going to be seeing some changes on it the next year or so, with expansions and things like that. So, want to keep y'all apprised of all what we're doing, so. So that being said, I'd like to introduce.
Mr. Glover, the floor is yours.
All right. Y'all bear with me, I don't do a lot of public speaking, I just yell at these guys back here. All right, so I brought them in, just,
Brought back up in.
I actually brought all them in, all right. So what we're about to go over, and Eric actually put this presentation together, the pictures and the slides and everything for y'all to see. But I'm gonna kind of go over quite a bit of information, so bear with me on it. What
before
we've
you
done, go ahead.
Before you get too deep, would
Yes.
you reiterate what pipe bursting is?
Yeah, I'm gonna go over all that, okay? First, before I do that, I wanna tell you that all the work that we do, we couldn't do without them, okay? They're a very unique group of guys. They come in, they work their tails off, and, all the money that we're able to save by doing this kind of work in-house is only because of them, all right? All right, so, first thing first. All right, so, 5 years ago, the city bought a pipe bursting machine, okay? We were the very first municipality in the south central U.S. to actually purchase their own pipe bursting machine, okay? It was all contract labor, everything was done outsourced, all right? So, Bryant invested. They bought this pipe bursting machine and put these guys to work, okay? And what this is the pipe bursting machine, is we're gonna go through this slide here. And so pipe bursting is a different way of actually rehabbing our infrastructure, okay? Normally, what we do is previously come in and you'd start at one manhole and you'd go to another and you'd dig an entire trench up, right? So you just tear up everybody's yard, you tear up the road, you tear up everything. All right, so to go in and pipe burst, we're actually not tearing all that up. The foot imprint that we put in whenever we go in is substantially smaller. All right, so we go in and we dig different pits. We start off, well, he put in different key points and everything for this right here. So we go in and we dig different pits. We start at one end, we go have a manhole, we dig what's called a box hole. Okay, that's where we got the big machine that you saw at the very beginning that said hammerhead. That's our actual pipe bursting machine. It's a 100-ton unit, so at any point in time, we can pull up to 100 tons of pressure against it. All right, so that pipe right there that you see is actually an HDPE poly pipe that we're able to weld together, fuse together, however you want to, whatever you want to call it, where that pipe, when we go in, and previously when pipe was installed, it was put in gasketed, right? Y'all know what gaskets are. All right, so everything's stuck together. So that's a point of infiltration. That's a point of rot. That's going to be a place that breaks down pretty quick, right? Well, with this, we actually fuse the pipe together. So when we pull the pipe back through, it's one solid piece. There's no points that can rot. There's no points that can break down. The degradation on this HDPE pipe, it starts at 100 years, okay? It's a scheduled 17 pipe, so it's about 3/4 inch thick. It's pretty, it's pretty substantial pipe. So that unit right there is the hammerhead that we were talking about a minute ago that was purchased, and we purchased it a little over 5 years ago. The XT100 right there is the actual pipe bursting machine. The unit right there beside it that says 4500, that's our Gen Pack. That's actually the hydraulic machine that actually pushes the hydraulic pressure for our to go through. Okay, so there's the actual machine put together. This is what we call our box hole, okay? That front part is the cage, is where we pull in our pipe bursting head. Our pipe bursting head is actually welded to the pipe and stuck at the other end of wherever our point A to point B starting is, from one manhole to another. Through that spots, we go through and we dig up service lines, service pits. Is that gonna play?
Yeah.
So this is actually a video of the unit pulling through. This is one of our services. Okay. So the service pit, I'm using that's going to be the top. The existing services are back into our services. It looks like it moves pretty slow, but it's substantially faster. So right here, you can see the clay pipe. This is a line that we did. And on the front end, that black thing is our cage where we pull it in. That's clay pipe. That's the old pipe that we actually pull into the existing hole with us, or it actually burst out into the ground. The head that we use in there is an expansion head. It starts off pretty small and then expands out. We actually brought the unit out here and set it up. If y'all want to look at it at any point in time, you're more than welcome to. We pull that head through the existing pipe and burst it out into the existing line, okay? There's what it looks like when it's pulled back in through. It's nice and shiny. Well, ours isn't anymore. We've got like, it looks like a Mad Max series. We've welded some big old lugs on there to help bust stuff up, to help the wear and tear on actually having to replace that bursting head. So right there is where we tie in. Once we got the services back, or got the line pulled back, that's actually when it goes back to the manhole right there. So we'll take and we'll pull that pipe all the way into the existing manholes, all right? And once we got those pulled in, we bed it so that there's no bow, there's no belly. We take everything out of the pipe, and then we're able to go back through here. And we didn't bring one of the service taps, did we? No, okay. All right, so we tap these back in with what's called a Romax saddle. It's a stainless steel band with a rubber gasket that we tighten down, and then we tie in the existing sewer services back so that there's no, problems with any of that. During this time, we don't have anybody that's out of sewer service. We're able to allow them to continue to do their sewer lines through the entire time. So this is different stuff that we do whenever we start. Of course, we go out and we camera the line to make sure that the line needs to be replaced, that it's something that we need to be doing. Right now, we're actually working on lines that were installed in the 60s and the 70s here. We're replacing clay lines and concrete lines as it is right now. Of course, call in the 811 to locate any kind of AT&T, any fiber, gas lines, water lines, any of that. We do our street cuts, pit holes service. That's a picture of what we do. We actually go out and we paint a line all the way down to make sure that we're not digging up any excess than we have to. So from one manhole to another, and we'll paint that out. Then we saw cut those service holes, digging the service pits right there. And I'm gonna go back up. You see that line right there? That's actually one of the lines that we dug out to keep from cutting somebody's fiber that was running in their yard. All right. So before, after, this is what happens when we tie it back into a manhole. We use hydraulic cement to grout back into the manhole so that there's no infiltration there either. Then of course we go back and we'll rehab any kind of yards, any kind of fences. But again, that footprint is substantially smaller than what it is going in and having to rip up an entire line of 360 foot. Now we're going in and we're digging up, instead of 360 foot, we're only digging up 10 to 12 foot for every single service and 20 foot for our box hole and our tail ditch. Again, our tail ditch is the entry point of where we put in the new line. All right. So this is what it looked like. We just did, this is cleanup right down the road right here on this last one that we did. You can tell we've been there, but of course it's not, like it would be if we'd have dug everything up. Everybody's fence would be gone and we'd be replacing fencing and stuff down through there. This is, of course, we'll go back and we'll sod when need be. We'll go back and we actually pour. These guys, like I said, they do a phenomenal job. We've done this. This was one of the driveways that we poured back. I think Gene helped with this one. And they go back, lay asphalt, dig trenches, do the drainage and all that good stuff. Now, also along with the pipe bursting, we have, over the past 5 years, we've also done standard open cut or open trench lines. We've installed 15-inch line, and last year we installed 24-inch line at 1,300 foot of it last year, gasketed 24-inch line that we went from where the bridge is, at Bryant Parkway? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bryant Parkway Bridge, all the way to Lift Station 5, which was right at 1,300 foot.
What size was that?
That was 24-inch, other than right down here at the plant, that's the largest pipe that we've got in the city. And these guys right over here did that. I'm unbelievably proud of them. So this is where we started over there off to go to Lift Station 5 over by the bridge. It was a 3-way tie-in. That was the old manhole that started, and then these are the new manholes that we installed. And and of course the pipe that was installed through there. And then that's the difference in the size manholes that we installed. Okay, so, they're substantially larger. The one right there on the left is one that was removed, out there, and it's a normal size manhole, 48-inch interior, 6 foot, on the outside, and then those that we installed are actually 6 foot ID, so 6 foot on your inside, 8 foot on your outside manholes. It's just to carry the amount of infrastructure growth that we've had in the city over the past few years. So, this is more of the reclamation that we did afterwards, after installing it, creek, yeah, so, all right, now, I know that was a lot of information. I'm gonna give you a little bit more. Okay, so by doing this stuff in-house, okay, this is the cost savings, okay? All right, so when we do outsource pipe bursting, we're paying approximately $388 a foot to outsource that, okay? Doing it in-house, we're doing it for approximately $61 to $93 a foot. That's the cost savings. So we're doing it between 25 to 30% of the cost of what it would be if we actually outsourced it.
In 5 years, what's the city estimated you save?
Yeah. Big numbers. Big numbers. All right. So in 2021, do you want the total numbers? I'm sure y'all don't want me to go through all this, but I would love to, but I know y'all really don't want to hear it. So cost savings, $6,454,067.83
In 5 years?
in 5 years.
Congratulations.
$6,454,067.83. And
Y'all did a lot better job cleaning up and everything than
yes, sir. And
contractor would.
that's what we did on just the pipe bursting that we did. Now, along with that, we also they installed that 24-inch. We also did install of a 15-inch, which we did it at, let's see, outsourcing it for DOXA, we paid $214.50, and doing it in-house, we paid $64.36. So is what it cost the city. All in all, just a substantial amount of money that's been saved by doing all this work in-house. The open cuts that we did over the past 5 years, we've saved $1,519,984.
Wow.
That's just on that. Now, manhole rehabs, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this stuff out there too, because I don't get to talk in front of people very often, and this is probably why. So, in manhole rehabs, we've done over the past 5 years, we did 38 manhole rehabs in 21, 3 new installs, 5 new installs, 6 new installs, 19 new installs, and I know y'all don't want to hear all this, for a total of $674,828 savings for the city. That's the work that we've done over the past 5 years with the pipe bursting. And that pipe bursting machine cost the city right at $1 million investment.
How
So-
long, what's the life expectancy of those?
Depends on who's running it. In all actuality. So life expectancy, hope for 10 years.
So you can save that much in another 5 years worth. And then before
We,
Probably your return on investment was within a year.
yeah.
7-8 months based on this.
on the return investment on the machine was probably within the first year, no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a suggestion, if it's okay to the panel, is that it's getting dark outside, and seeing is believing, and I think it's worth looking at the equipment. If we could take possibly a 5-minute recess,
Okay.
we'll look at it real quick.
First off, I'd like to make a motion that we tell this crew thank you.
Yep, so,
Great job.
I think you should indicate.
oh,
Let's go outside, you can introduce us.
I'm gladly.
We'll suspend the meeting to go look at some equipment. Motion passed, go.
You ready?
Hear about
We'll
it.
start back up. All right, public comments. Do we have anybody here for public comments? Okay. Let's see, old business. Do we have any old business to discuss?
This really, the new business really is probably considered old business, but
Okay. New business under Public Works, leak communication policy discussion.
okay, if y'all remember at last month's meeting, we talked about looking at water scope and seeing potential leaks. We were just coming out of the freeze and the inclement weather policy where there were multiple people that had problems where their service on their side froze and busted. If they could get on water scope, if they weren't in the middle of a power outage, they could have seen this for themselves. We were watching it as a result of the entire city and how much water we were consuming, because it's very, you know, if we can't keep our tanks full, it's not just our main lines busted, it's also could be service lines that are busted. So we're able to get on and look and see where all the water is being used, and it's very distinctive. I remember I handed out a presentation last time that shows like what a normal usage is, and then it's an immediate spike in a household, depending on how big a break, can go to immediately using from, say, 500 gallons a day to 25,000 gallons a day. That's quite a bit of difference. And that, you know, not only that is just like we had the leak adjustment as far as somebody leaving a water hose on. You know, when you have a bust that big, that's can be in the thousands of dollars of the water bill that you get, because it's not only, once again, we don't know where the water's going. Is it going into the sewer system? So you're getting the double whammy. So what we want to do is kind of be a little bit more proactive, as it says here, is to look at that, because it's real distinctive. You know, like I said, is you can trend your usage, and then all of a sudden it spikes up. It's an indication that something bad has happened. And so with our intent is, we can't look at everybody. We got 8,800 water customers, and usually it's not that many. It's, I mean, on a normal probably cycle, you may have 2 or 3. Like during the winter weather, we probably had 15 of folks that were having that problem, and we'll probably hear from those people. Maybe at the next meeting is a leak adjustment. But we want to be proactive, but we want to come back to this and have you guys either push this on the council or we adopt it. One of the first things out of that, it says here at the beginning of the January 2026 cycle, we've already missed that, but we can probably, you know, start the next quarter. And then the rationale is that when we get the reports, we look at the first 30. And we look through that first 30 with residential. If we see that spike, we're going to either soft contact or call them if they have a number on their accounts, if they have an email. We'll even go to the extent of do a door hanger or something like that. I mean, it's kind of a sensitive matter, because you're inserting yourself into somebody that's their water usage that we can say. But we also use that opportunity to advocate that they get on water scope and they watch themselves and become the stewards of their own water usage. I mean, I hate to say this because they're tired of hearing me say it. I geek out on it because it's just so easy to look at it. And then you see all this other information that comes out, like, you know, how many times you flush your toilet, when's shower usage. And, you know, just as a refresher, the water scope has proprietary algorithms that can look at your water usage and trend and, you know, basically that when you flush the toilet, when you do the dishwasher, things like that. So it's really kind of fun to look at. But the main thing is if you're gushing water, we feel that's our part of our service to help say, hey, you got a problem. You know, can you check on this? We don't want you getting a big water bill. We don't take any pride out of taking money from folks that if they had some misluck or something and they've had a break and they need to fix it. So we're going to try this policy out. And it says right now we're going to try to do that on weekly, and we'll see what happens. But as you get it, because you don't want a month to go by where somebody's hemorrhaging 25,000 gallons of water a day. But you know, because they are going to fund that on their own. But if we can track it in a week in advance, or a week enough that we can do something about it, at least reach out to them. That's what the purpose and intent of this is.
Did we jump over the legal
We
hoops
talked
of
to
30?
Ashley about this, and she said basically it looks like it's okay to do. She didn't see it as an invasion of privacy along those lines or anything like that, so.
Well, there seemed like there's some concern, like you're looking at 30, but number 31 was like, why didn't you
Yeah.
call me?
Well, we kind of went back in the process to look, and like I said, it's in a normal cycle, if it's not freezing weather or something like that, you may have 5.
Yeah.
Or you may not even have 5.
In a week?
Or in a month.
Okay.
So, I mean, and then as we get more involved, as we actively do this, we might even be able to trend it better. But we will look at the first 30 just so that we guarantee that we cover that.
Did we run the numbers to see what the potential cost saving is? Would it cover the potential job?
No, I mean, it's not a matter of that because, you know, in the end, we're not going to receive as much revenue because the league pays us whether you consider that fair or not. And we recover the cost of it.
But that's less money that you sent to CAW too.
Exactly, it's less money we sent CAW, but we recover that cost with what we charge our customers anyway.
Yeah,
It's
but-
just being better than.
But every month, we're giving back money that went down the drain on
But
that
as
too.
a city, as a utility, we recover it based off of what they pay us, whether they used it or not.
Yeah.
So it saves, yes, it lowers what we bill CAW, but it's also, it's on the consumer's end, not necessarily our end.
Okay. Have we called anybody that's on this and tried this yet?
During the winter, we really bit our tongue a couple of times. There was a couple of them that we said, we gotta go do something. We knocked on doors, we did this, we did that.
Yeah.
And then, and that's what said, we really need a program in place where we call. We need to be able to call. So that, we didn't want to do that until we said, hey, this is the right thing to do. Let's move
I
forward.
think if you approach it from the standpoint that it appears to right here, that, hey, we see some unusual water usage, you might want to,
Yes, that's exactly the approach.
and, you know,
Is check,
Is you
check
wait-
percent, check your water, and also, once again, it's the soft sell the use of water scope. Now, we realize not everybody has immediate access to computers and things like that, but I think it's a good program, and I think we even made a suggestion last time that, you know, to do something along that lines, we cover them break, we really can't do that, that's one thing we checked out, we can't necessarily do that, but it's still a good point of advocacy to get them to where they're looking at their own water scope.
So is there going to be any kind of record keeping as to we attempted to?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so they can come back and go, well, you didn't,
We did, we'll
No.
develop a spreadsheet
Okay.
and basically track it as we go.
And-
Even on Metron, there's like a note thing, you can go in there on Metron, click on the notepad and make a note on it. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
in Salem, water scope's not available to them, right?
No, they're not available to Salem
Okay,
Scope.
so the water leak, or the water
It
hose
wouldn't cut,
would
wouldn't
not.
fix that,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
It would have pinged real loud and hard on ours.
yeah.
And also too, you know, just a reminder as part of water scope, you can set up water scope to notify yourself.
Yeah.
If it says, if it sees, and you gotta play with it, because you gotta set that threshold, because if you set it too soft, then it's pinging you all the time, and that becomes a nuisance, and you quit paying attention to it. But if you set it kinda high or something, then you know you got a problem. And it'll notify, I believe it's text messages or email, you know, when you're sending
Maybe
them.
both.
Yeah.
So since we've had this water scope in place, have we had many people come and, you know, yeah, I caught it with water scope, and they caught it a lot less,
Yeah,
and asked for a adjustment?
alerts.
What?
We tell them why.
For what?
We'll tell them why, because they'll call and ask, why am I getting alerts? And I'm like, because and we'll look at their meter and basically tell them that they have a leak going on, that's why you're getting alerts, you signed up for those.
I have to admit, I got on it.
You did?
And, you know, I took pride, I thought all my stuff was took care of. You know, ain't no way I'd have a leak. Well, when I got on it, I had a leak.
Yeah.
And it was leaking out there at my water tank, you know, on the toilet. You know,
It looked like it was, but.
and I had never checked it, because I couldn't hear it or didn't realize it, but I was using water, and I got it fixed. And since I've gotten on this, I have gotten one notice that we was using like 150 gallons water that day. But I think it's great, because I've got lines running all over the pasture and everywhere, so I wouldn't know I had a water leak out there unless I see it coming to the top, and this way I know ahead of time that I got one, so.
So what do you,
I would like to, if you guys by recommendation, that we still amend it because we're already into the year.
Yeah.
But we'd like to set up to start beginning it as soon as possible. And, you know, we have the tools and the means to do it. So, I mean, it's an internal policy, so it doesn't necessarily require an ordinance or an action by, but it would help if y'all made a recommendation. And we may also bring this to council, maybe not this month, but next month, and have them have their blessing on it as well. Because I think it's kind of the right thing to do.
anybody any questions or about what this is?
I wish there was some way we could reward people for signing up. You know, if they catch their own leak or something, they get
That would be
a
nice.
little percentage more.
I just think the only problem is there's a certain degree of exclusivity, because first of all, not all Bryant citizens are our water customers or our sewer customers. And then potentially you may have folks out there that may not have access to computer access.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion,
I'll make that motion.
and that motion is to forward.
Forward this to council with the adjustments he talked about on the date,
Okay,
and inform them that this is something we're looking at doing.
I'll take a second.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Carries 6-0. Now you just gotta cut the meeting short now, Ted. We got you what you want.
Well, you wait till you get to my director's report. That's going to be longer than Frankie's report.
All right, project, South Plain Tank.
South Plain Tank, we're still proceeding on design. Once again, we've involved the schools. They're still working towards a design. We're real excited. I think we're supposed to have a Friday meeting on what kind of, once again, I didn't realize the magnitude of how big our graphics design class is at the schools. I think we talked about it last time. We were thinking, hey, it was one class. No, it's 7 classes, and there's 30 kids in each class. There's 210 students that are looking at this. So we're really excited. We've gotten some preliminary looks at it, and it looks pretty cool. So,
Are we giving any kind of award to the
yeah,
winner?
so we're getting them to put it up on the tank for them.
It'll be submitted in the Tennessee Tank of the Year competition too, which is a very big deal.
So I think they've developed a lot of interest in it, because it's going to be right by the school. It's pretty interesting. So, yeah, so that's moving along. We're hoping by April, into April, maybe go out for construction bid on the tank.
Okay.
I think it'd be cool whenever it's picked and it's up there to bring it to the city council and do some kind of little presentation to the
Maybe
audience
do a ribbon cutting and do all those great.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
and recognize them.
We can,
All right, lift station 5.
Lift Station 5, its design is proceeding too. We've had meetings this past week on it. We're getting close on it. We'd like to push it forward because we're continuing to have experiencing problems with the old lift station. Pump issues, valve issues, control issues, you know, it's reaching its life, and it's showing its age daily. So what you're gonna see there is that we're pushing the design. We're supposed to start geotech here hopefully in the next week or two, so that we can do a whole new design, which will be a lot more maintenance friendly, just in general. And not only that, it'll be a lot of flood proof done with it, because the current one's in the floodplain. That's just where a lot of lift stations are. But we're proceeding, and we're also starting to line up funding for it too.
Okay. Lift station 40.
Lift Station 40 is another one that's experienced a lot of pump problems, pump issues. Some of it was stemmed from construction debris getting into it and tearing up pumps. It just happens sometimes when they're building around open sewer manholes and things like that. Sometimes, I think the one that, the thing that got this one this last time was a tape measure. A tape measure got stuck up into one of the pumps, and you wouldn't think, they got cutting heads on them, but still, the tape wound up into the impellers, you know,
You mean that,
did seal damage and stuff.
that silk fence doesn't catch everything?
But what we're trying to do here on this particular thing is we've been in a situation where we've used a vendor over and over again, which is good to standardize, as somebody that works in most of the industry can attest to, but we're wanting to try to be fair and competitive with other vendors. We're also looking at changing out the SCADA system and the controls on it. That's another sore subject, is a matter of being some degree of, once you've locked into somebody, you're exclusive to them. So we're using Lift Station 40 as to kind of rebuild with a better technology and more competitive pricing and availability of pumps and controls on that. So I think we're like 2 weeks out or something like that on that. Huh? 24? Oh, that's 24. Yeah, 40 we gotta get back in.
the emergency.
Yeah, the ones that were, yeah, well, we just gotta get, but once again, we're getting new pumps on that. I'll mix that one up all the time, but. All right, so there's that.
Okay. Saline Regional, you got a report?
Yeah, I got.
Ted does.
Ted does, you give it up?
She went to a party, I had to go
I
to.
didn't go to a party. I sat down as the representative, and then Chris had Ted go.
Yeah.
Okay.
on Thursday.
Yeah, so, yeah, we spent 3 hours talking about easements and things of that nature, so, but that's accumulation of easements and those. We did have a presentation from Cruz and Associates about potential funding that was encouraging. So it's, definitely, gives life to the project that there is a possibility of funding sources beyond just ANRD stuff funding.
I got a question.
Okay?
Is Benton settled down?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah, they're great. They're
Okay.
our best partners. Yeah.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure. Anything else on that?
No, just, yeah.
Okay. All right, Pilot Station.
Pilot Station, Timmy's been actively involved with what we were doing. Actually, it was at Lift Station 5 and 25. Well, some of the stuff that happened at 5 has kind of put a kink in that. But the overall effect, if y'all remember, is to do some aeration and in addition of enzymes, adding enzymes. It seems to have a very good positive effect. I mean, nothing more than doing aeration improves how we manage grease and other contaminants in the system, such that we're going to incorporate into the permanent design of Lift Station 5 some sort of aeration system.
Where are we at on, instead of using fresh water, rework water?
I am so happy you brought that up.
Okay.
That's going to be my 45-minute director's report, and then we're going to talk about that.
We'll give you 3 minutes.
No,
we just talked about it.
no, but in fact, maybe that'll be the presentation we'll bring. I'm not going to bore you guys with the director's report, especially I can't get going on his coattails and do that.
Yeah.
That was great. But yeah, we're moving ahead with the design. Mariah's already reached out to ADQ that we'll be doing that, and so we're getting funding in place for that. And once again, that has the potential to save. We consume about 50 to 55,000 gallons of water a day to do this. Potable water, and it can be recycled water, which our typical bills for that is about $11,000 to $12,000 a month. So we can potentially save $120,000, $140,000 a year. And develop that. So we're moving
Good idea.
on that. And I'll use that for the wastewater treatment plant expansion as well as my director's report, unless you want some more as far as where we stand on the expansion of the plant.
You're still designing, right?
Yeah, we're doing little pieces at a time. We're meeting with members and things like that. So
Okay.
we probably need to have a new title, a return favorite called CAO status, because remember, we're still under CAO because somebody called and dropped a dime on us here a few years ago about.
Sorry about that.
And so that we do need to give an update report on that, so you'll see that next month as well.
Can we look at scheduling the May meeting for the wastewater plant?
Yeah, if we want to do it, and I know by definition, bylaws, that we set this at 6 o'clock, but by that time we'll be on, daylight saving time, so daylight will be later, and then we can have to do a little bit of a walk around in the process. So if we wanted to do that, we'll put that on for the May meeting.
Why don't we do the meeting so that we can record it, make sure everything's recorded in the Public Works conference room, and then just wander down to the plant for a tour.
Sounds wonderful to me.
Logistically, if you can do that, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
Yes, I think that's a wonderful idea, and then we have, also will some public people too, that will, everybody take the opportunity to do that. Everybody likes, as much as it sounds gross, it doesn't smell bad.
Do we Do we have to post that publicly, Ted? Do we have to post that publicly that we're moving the meeting to a different?
Yeah,
Yes,
but we'll
we'll do
post it
that.
at the Public Works Conference Room.
Okay.
And then whoever's there is more than welcome to come down to the plant, but we won't put it at the plant itself. We'll put it at the
Okay.
conference room first.
Yes.
All right. So that wraps up your director's report, wastewater treatment plant
I can
expansion, et
talk more
cetera.
if you want, but,
I'm hungry,
yes, sir.
so. Anybody got anything else?
All I got is a motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn, do I have a second?
second.
All in favor?
Thank you all very much.
Good night, folks.
Good job on that presentation.